Happy New Year, folks. I'm Jake Davis, and this is my first of a series of 6 top videos I'll try to get out over the next few days, covering what I felt were the best performances, directorial work, and overall achievement in cinema over the last 12 months. It's the 5th year in a row I've done this on YouTube, posted these on YouTube, but to be fair, before that, I was posting them. I'd write little essay type things or lists. I was writing essays on Facebook, and before that, I was writing lists on Moco Space of my favorite at the year end. And before that, I spent a long time just doing this shit with my friends, family, loved ones, and anyone who would tolerate me, who also shared my love for music, movies. I love music too. But I've covered my year-end favorites every year since 1999, and I got no intentions of ever really stopping that until I go senile, which will be 4 or 5 years tops. So here it is, my first list. Best Supporting Actor of 2022, top 5 list. So let's get to it. Number 5. By the way, once again, I don't care what the Academy or what's in the Bake Off or in contention with the Golden Globes or the Critics' Choice Awards. We got all of the big reviews. This is purely my opinions and how I feel about these movies, what I thought were the best work of the year. Granted, all those high artsy-fartsy types in Hollywood have a few films that match my opinions. Number 5, for Best Supporting Actor, I would say Justin Long for Barbarian. Barbarian was a brilliant and shocking film that was released this fall. Had a magnificent marketing campaign as well as a wonderful script. But the real heart, the getcha of that movie, to me, was Justin Long's performance as this television actor in the midst of cancellation due to sexual assault allegations towards a co-star that have come up towards him. As the story unfolds, at first we're not really sure how we're supposed to feel about his character. But it becomes very, very clear that he is a beast. He's a monster. He's a very, very bad man. In every conceivable way. Not only is he vicious and cruel and hurtful and violent, but he's also cowardice and manipulative and just all-around piece of shit. Number 4, I guess I should say spoilers at this point, because I will be giving a little spoilers for these movies. And by the way, this is up here because I'm sick of looking at this fucking cardboard in my videos. My kids fuck up my blinds. My kids are shits. Do you have kids? Then you know, okay? So, number 4 is Ethan Hawke and The Black Phone. The Black Phone is an adaptation of what's his name? Does he go by Joe King or is it Joe Hill? Fuck it all. It's Stephen King's kid. The kid who killed his dad in Creepshow with the voodoo doll. It's one of his novels, and Ethan Hawke is a serial killer, a child murderer, rapist, abductor, just, the best kind of fella. He abducts our main character, his latest victim, and all the spirits of the victims are eventually start giving the boy hints and clues away. Well, this is where I failed, but breaking down what doesn't work is a great way to find out what will fucking work. So he knows how to focus his time and what to pay attention to, and it's a very intense movie. But I'm talking about Ethan Hawke's performance. Ethan Hawke gives a genuinely chilling performance. Ethan Hawke's always been a really good actor, ever since he was a kid. But he was so unsettling in this movie. There's parts in the film he literally made my skin crawl. And 2 seconds. My kid's brat. I'm back. I should have had boys. So, oh fuck, I'll just move on. Ethan Hawke was terrific in that, and I also wanted to say that there are elements like when it's hard to pull off something like this. Like Ethan Hawke's an actor that's been since he was a kid. Like I said, he's been putting out like 2, 3, 4 movies a year. Don't go long without seeing Ethan Hawke pop up in a project. And you know, wide variety. He does the dramas, the indies, big movies. He pops up in the MCU. You know, he'll do Richard Linklater is experimenting with at the time, apparently. He's a versatile actor. He has broad interests, and that's interesting, you know, and compelling to see what he's going to do next and what he might pop up in. So when you have an actor like that, and no matter what your age is, you know, whether you age-wise compared to him, he could be like a son or a brother or even like an uncle figure to you kind of situation. You have an actor that's recognizable. And you put him in a character like this, it's hard to get past what you know about him to really feel the wretchedness. You know what I mean? I don't know if to me, it's like having his face concealed for the bulk of the film, and when you slowly break down and see more of Ethan Hawke's face, it feeds to the character in the story, makes him more chilling and scarier, almost like the further reveal of his identity is growing closer to when he's ready to do his thing with his victims. And it's a very, very intelligent, very captivating performance. It's brilliant work. It's very brilliant work from Ethan Hawke. A lot of people have fairly criticized certain elements of this film. I think it's a really good movie. I think as a horror film, it definitely lacks on levity. Yeah, sure, it's about a child abductor or murder and stuff like that, but, you know, it was about a monster who ate kids, and it had lots of laughs, you know. M is in German, and it's about the gang world, the crime underworld, hunting down a child murderer, and there are plenty of laughs in it, too. The movie could have used a little work, sure. And it does have some laughs, to be fair. But the movie could use a little touching up. It's not perfect, but it's excellent. And Ethan Hawke's performance is the reason to see the film. Okay, gotta say more performances. Number 3, Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin. I kind of went back because I kind of feel like with this one, it's almost too obvious. Of all the performances and all the elements of this particular film is getting all this award attention right now, I really think Gleason's performance is the shoo-in. I mean, more given than Colin Farrell or the script or the film. Brendan Gleeson's going to be nominated for this. That's why I kind of feel like it's... why should I talk about it? I like to talk about the underdog movies and stuff like that at this time of year. But yeah, man, he is powerful in this. And Gleeson's a terrific actor. And it's the best performance he's had since the last time he played off of Colin Farrell in Bruges, which is also the same director. Bruges. I don't know. I'm American. I don't know how to pronounce that fucking word. But the story of a man, he's a man who suddenly one day decides he doesn't want to be friends anymore with a man who's been his closest friend for years. And not just no longer be friends with him, he decided he hates this man. And it escalates to the point where anytime this man has the audacity to speak to him, he's going to mutilate himself. He's going to chop off a finger. And no matter how much, and it's a small village, a fictitious village, but a small village in Ireland 100 years ago, and there's not a lot of people there, so just being able to connect and share your life, share yourself with one person, is, a fucking achievement. But it's like the element of cruelty and madness layered to this character, and it's never explained because he's just fucking nuts. I mean, you can't explain madness. I mean, it's like the line in Scream, they ever really say why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people? It doesn't fucking matter. He eats people. That's all you need to know. But, I mean, Gleason's so terrific in this. And another thing I say about this movie got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Drama. I think I may have said this already in one of my videos, but you just go figure, The Martian is a comedy, and The Banshees of Inisherin is a drama. Who watched these? Who decides these things? Yeah, he was terrific. I guess I'll move on. Number 2, Paul Dano in The Batman. Oh shit, y'all. Hold on, just give me a second. Pause, you bastard. Okay. Paul Dano's Riddler, when he was announced, inspired me to shoot a video 3 years ago. When he had been cast, I should say, about great acting choices, casting choices. I had high expectations for his work in this film. I think Paul Dano is a very good actor. The only time I ever really didn't like his work was really just one scene in one movie. So it doesn't really matter ultimately. But with this, the build up, the hype from the first trailer, first seeing the Riddler, I was taken aback. I had to rewind and go back. What did I just see? Because I was so blown away about how out of the box and how fresh a take they were doing with the Riddler was. And that on top of the guy they had cast, with already the high expectations I had, they mushroom clouded. I mean, it was to the point where I felt like there was no possible way he could match my expectations. And he absolutely did. But it wasn't just because of his work. It was about... Hold on, my kids. Okay, I might be safe for now. So, what the fuck was I saying? So my expectations were incredibly high. So, and also there was this great smart build that they didn't really show Riddler in the trailers. Never saw his face, at least. And it's over 2 hours into the film until we finally see his face. And the fact that it's not scarred, there's not all these big prosthetics, which was expected because of what they did with amazing work on Colin Farrell's Penguin. It was just this unassuming, unintimidating man. Just a guy. It's a small, little, almost effeminate man. Not really. I mean, just. I mean, not even to use the phrase like beta male is like a negative thing. Not the kind of person you would think to be capable of such violence. And then, oh my lord, the monologue, the scene in Arkham Asylum was magnificent. Now, granted, the video games, I think Rockstar Games it was, their Arkham Asylum, I'm not a gamer, their Arkham Asylum games had done great work with the Riddler by kind of separating him from just being a Joker clone, which he was for decades and decades, to really kind of comparing him to both the actual Zodiac killer, serial killer that was never caught, and the movie serial killer that he inspired, the Zodiac killer, the Scorpio killer, from the first Dirty Harry film, or Dirty Harry, I should say. Because there's no such thing as Dirty Harry 2, that's Magnum Force, and it's awesome. Dano was just I've used the word captain before, but couldn't take his eyes off him, and he commanded the screen. And he's so little screen. It's a long movie. It's a 3-hour movie. He has maybe 10 minutes of screen time. Of FaceTime, maybe 5. But he steals this movie. And it's an amazing performance. And it instantly elevated the Riddler to, in my opinion, as a lifelong Batman fan, to a C-tier Batman villain. Honestly, to one of the greatest Batman villains ever. Up there with the Scarecrow, Two-Face, and the Joker. This movie, his performance did more for that character than any comic book or any actor or voice artist or artist, period, has done before. The Riddler is his role now, which is saying something. And my winner is Ke Huy Quan for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And he's not just my winner, but just like with Brad Pitt, I'm calling my shot here. 3 years ago, Short Round is winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for this movie. I think he is going to win the Oscar. There's strong support. It is a profound study on empathy, patience, peace. And seeing his character in, because the whole multiverse concept, we see him in different rounds, and how ultimately, unlike all the other characters in the film, what he wants out of his life is always a constant. And and then there's, the greatest scene in film of the whole fucking year was, just leave her alone. No, I'm leaving. Alright, so I'm literally in the back of my house, barricading the door so I can hide from my spoiled children. There's a scene towards the end of, not towards the end of the film, about 3/4 through, right before we get to the big third act, where he makes a speech that's basically just about people being kind and understanding. He's like, I'm scared. I'm confused. But why are we all fighting? And it's intercut with other versions of him and other versions of her looking at their relationship. And, oh man, great line. Where her in our timeline has just been obsessing with feeling like a failure in her whole life, and she has to deal with the IRS, and she's living above their laundromat that they're on, and she's just so miserable and stressed out all the time. And seeing them in an alternate universe who are both successful, but neither one of them are happy. And she compares it. She says, what if we were just, we just had that life that I just explained. And his response is basically, that'd be nice. I'd like that. And it's, oh God, I try not to, I said spoilers, but I'm trying not to ruin the movie for you. I've never seen a film, or maybe even a supporting role, that was so important to the film. He is the heart of the movie. He is the rock of the movie and of his family. The last moment where they're both looking at him while he's almost oblivious of everything that's happened. Okay, so real quick, my honorable mentions are Nicholas Hoult in The Menu was great. Both Colin Farrell and Jeffrey Wright in The Batman did amazing work. James Hong finally got the legend status movie star role that he was entitled to with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Martin Henderson as a construction worker, desperately looking for and a better life, while enthusiastic about making an actually good porno movie, was wonderful in Ets. Matthew Sunderland as Pearl, just an intense and terrifying performance of a catatonic man watching his family fucking rot before him. Boyd Holbrook's wonderful performance in Vengeance as a manipulative southern man trying to get his dead sister's reporter Yankee brother to help him solve her murder. Pierce Brosnan and Black Adam. No, sure, it's not a great movie, but it was great to see him in a comic book movie. Especially, it seemed fitting that he would be in DC instead of Marvel. I don't know why, but it just seemed fitting to me. And I thought it was a terrific choice as Dr. Fate, even though I was very disappointed at how little into who and what Dr. Fate is we actually got in that movie. Christian Bale in Thor: Love and Thunder. Dog shit movie, but he's the only thing that kept that film from being a grade A turkey. He was the best thing in the MCU the whole year. And when I say best thing, I mean only genuinely good thing they put out. His work in that movie. Harris Dickinson as Richard Attenborough in See How They Run was great. He was so good in that. The fact that he wasn't like doing a straightforward impression, but still, as the film went on, started to seem like he started to look and sound more and more like Attenborough. It was a very clever kind of work, similar to what Woody Harrelson did with Larry Flint and what Angela Bassett did with Tina Turner. David Arquette's swan song for the Scream series, the goodbye to Dewey, and the importance and maturity of showing his character, that man that, as an audience members, we met 26 years ago as a naive 24-year-old deputy, and seeing all the pain and all the loss and all the death he's seen all this time come full circle, saying that he's actually a brave, intelligent police officer, detective now, fucking fit, made sense. He still want to be dumbling, dipshit, dumbass Dewey, because he survived those 4 movies. And it was good to see. I always love when they bring characters back after decades and decades, and the character is actually grown in the time away. Alistair Petrie in The Cursed, great horror movie, unappreciated werewolf film, a phenomenally dark and cold-hearted performance he delivers. And of course, and finally, Edward Norton in Glass Onion, a triumphant main role. Is his first real. He's done like little cameos in Wes Anderson, done some voice work, but he hasn't really done a role since Birdman, which was some of his best fucking work. And like I said, triumphant fucking return. I watched Glass Onion twice in one day. I watched it Christmas morning, and I watched it later that night. It was great. And the reason it was great was because Edward fucking Norton. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It took me a day and a half to get through it. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.